Welcome to Classroom to Corporate Connections. I'm excited to share my journey from classroom to corporate and build connections to help you succeed. My name is Sarah. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a white woman with short blonde hair up in a pony today, blue eyes, and I'm wearing blue glasses. This is season 1, episode 5, kind of a big deal, right? And it is called Skill Shifts. You might notice my eyes kind of going everywhere if you're watching me on YouTube. I'm trying something new out. I got a new camera. A, I love how it looks, right? B, I'm trying to figure out the placement, and I thought now would be a good time to play around with it. So I've got my videos over here, right? Notes, outline. So just kind of keeping track of everything. But I'm going to try and keep focused right there on the camera so I can talk to you. Today, I have a really insightful episode prepared, and it's for all of you educators. I think that some of the things that I'm going to talk about could definitely apply to people beyond education, but obviously my focus from classroom to corporate is on those who are in education or trying to get out. Maybe you're considering a transition in your career. So whether you're a seasoned educator, teacher, or you're just starting out, the skills that you have honed in the classroom and even in the schooling that led you to the classroom might be more transferable than you think. So we'll dive into the world of transferable skills today and talk really about how teachers can leverage their unique talents in new and exciting ways. So you might be thinking first, why? Why would a teacher be considering a transition, a career shift? And, we've talked about it honestly, probably a little bit in every episode leading up to this point. So I'd really encourage you to go back and listen to some of the old episodes, 1 through 4. But the reasons are as diverse as the subjects that we teach. It could be a desire for something new, a new challenge. It could be a need for a change in environment, a change in the work culture. Simply a shift in personal priorities. For me, it was kind of all of the above, as you know. But today we're really going to focus on exploring the world of transferable skills, okay? And I apologize for that. I'm having a little lag in my video that I'm noticing. And so it's kind of catching me off guard out of the corner of my eye. So we'll see how this episode shakes out. I might be re-recording. I guess we'll find out. So we're going to explore the world of transferable skills. We're going to talk about how teachers can leverage their rich skill set. Teachers have so many skills. We know that, right? But does everyone else know that? And how you can set yourself up to thrive in a new professional landscape. Let's start by addressing the big question that a lot of teachers face when they're contemplating a career change. What are transferable skills? It sounds so common that it kind of sounds like something like, oh, I should know. What are my transferable skills? But we don't always. Simply put, these are the skills and the abilities that you've acquired in one setting. So in this case, in this scenario, we're talking about in the classroom, and they can be applied or adapted to another setting or industry. And I say in this scenario, the classroom, but I also would like to bring a little bit more context to that. I had transferable skills that came from the classroom, but that also came from during my schooling and my internships to get my principal's license. I think that those experiences actually provided me a significant amount of transferable skills that allowed me to make the jump. I'm certainly by no means saying you have to go get your master's degree, or much less 2 of them to transfer. I had thought that by doing that and getting my master's degree and pursuing something else, that would kind of settle that bug and make me comfortable and happy again. And unfortunately, it just was not clicking with all of the different things going on in my life. So First things first, let's go ahead and identify some of those transferable skills, right? Teaching isn't just about lesson plans and grading papers, or in my case, when I was trying to interview, especially initially, all I was thinking was, oh my gosh, people are going to think that I was a teacher. That meant I babysat kids all day. If you're not immersed in the world of education, I don't think you truly understand everything that teachers do. I really don't. And that's just my 2 cents. I had the opportunity to go on a field trip with one of my children many years ago. And I recall sitting next to another adult chaperone. And I was telling them a story about something that I'd been dealing with at school. And they said, wow, I had no idea that you had to do all of that. Everyone should have to take some time in the classroom and experience it. And I was like, yes, everyone should have to take time in the classroom to experience it and understand what it's truly like to be a teacher. In fact, I jokingly replied that it would be great for everyone to have jury duty, except for as a substitute teacher. So you'd get called up for your substitute teaching jury duty and be told what school to report to and what grade you were going to be teaching. And it's a day, it's a week. It would only give you a glimpse, but it might start to help people understand that teachers are so much more. So sorry about that. Backing up, it's more than just lesson planning, grading papers. It's really a dynamic profession that equips you with an array of skills and a variety of contexts. We think about communication, adaptability, time management, organization. Those are just a few that we're actually going to dabble in discussing here today. So first up, let me see if my banners are working. Sorry. First up, we're going to talk about communication, right? We've said that teachers possess a lot of skills that are highly transferable. And I think first and foremost above everything else is communication. If you think about it, as a teacher, you're literally communicating all day long, whether it's to kindergartners or to seniors in high school or in college or right anywhere in between. You are a master communicator. You have been equipped with the job of taking complex ideas and explaining them in a way that others can understand. That takes talent. You have to foster understanding and awareness. You are managing different communication styles every day. You're communicating with your students, with their parents and families. So you can kind of think about as your stakeholders. You're communicating with your boss, with your peers, with possibly C-suite executives, which I will call the upper level leadership in the district, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent. You might have a director of curriculum. So people that are in the district office, or if we're paralleling, the corporate office, right? So you're talking, and each one of those different groups of individuals really takes a different way or method of communication, a different relationship. These skills for communication are invaluable in any profession, any industry, any profession. You don't even have to just tie it down to marketing. I'm talking marketing, project management, HR, learning and development, IT, any industry, because you have to communicate with others. As an educator, you're communicating in written form, emails, quick messages. If you were like me, you maybe had a classroom app like Class Dojo or something, and you would send quick messages or seesaw messages home to parents, just little snippets. Hey, your kid did great today. Here's a picture. You are communicating via the phone. You are getting caught off guard when maybe a parent shows up at your classroom door and wants to have that conversation right then and there. So you are communicating all day, every day in a bazillion different ways. Next up, another crucial skill that we're going to talk about is adaptability. Teachers, it requires adaptability. I could call it flexibility. You really have to be willing to adapt on the fly and roll with things. Switch gears when a lesson isn't landing, when the kids are out of control. Maybe something unexpected happens. There's a challenge to your day. There's a fire drill. There's a fire. I don't know. But there's lots of things. And as a teacher, you have to be willing and able, not just willing, but you have to be able, capable of adapting to the unexpected. In the professional world, guess what? Adaptability is a hot commodity. Employers, are looking for someone that can navigate change. Things are always changing. We know that from the classroom, but here's an insider's sneak peek. Things are changing in the corporate world too. So employers want someone who can navigate that change with ease, with skill. And as a teacher, this is a skill that you have really honed in the classroom. Now, we'll come up with another two. I've kind of lumped these two together a little bit. Let's see if my banner will work here. Maybe. There we go. Organization and time management. Teachers are excellent at juggling multiple tasks, right? Meeting deadlines, keeping everything in order. I mean, for goodness sakes, you've probably got a class of 30 kids that you have to keep in order, keep in line, make sure they're all there. Did they all get to their right classes at the right time? Especially, I'm talking elementary world right here. I'm juggling the kids that are going off for some tier 2 interventions. I'm talking about kids that are running out the door for English as a second language class with their teacher. Kids that might have a band appointment with the band teacher to do their lesson. People are going all different places, meeting with the school counselor, with the school social worker. That takes organization and time management, because you have to figure out when and how you're going to teach the lessons that everyone needs to hear, but not everyone's always in the classroom, right? So these skills are like gold in any workplace, whether you're in an office, maybe you're at a hospital, or maybe you're choosing to start your own business. You need to be well organized and have good time management skills. And that's something you can totally sell in an interview. And you've got it. You've nailed it since day one, right? Now, if you're thinking about considering a career change, it's really essential that you identify and you showcase. We only dabbled in four, I think, skills today. We will continue this conversation in a future episode and talk about some more transferable skills, but you need to identify which ones really highlight and speak to you and your ability on your resume and in your interviews. Don't assume that employers will automatically see the connection between teaching and their industry, because I will be the first to tell you they won't. I recall when I was interviewing at Amazon, being in an interview and someone said, "Oh, I come from a long line of teachers. Both of my parents were teachers, and I had never thought about it that way." And I tell you this because you have to be explicit about how your teaching experience has equipped you with the skills they're looking for. You have the job of connecting the dots. One effective way that I would recommend you do this is by telling stories. Sharing anecdotes from your teaching career that really highlight moments of leadership, problem solving, collaboration. Hey, I just named 3 more transferable skills. You need to paint a very vivid picture of how your skills, your experience can seamlessly transfer to the role that you are desiring, that you're pursuing. There's tons of methods to do this. My 2 favorite, depending on kind of the timing allotment for the interview, are STAR and CAR. STAR is situation, task, action, results. CAR is a little abbreviated: challenge, actions, results. And what you're doing is you are telling the story. So STAR is definitely my favorite. You're setting the situation up. You are explaining the background. Then you're explicitly moving into what were the tasks that you had to do. What was the action that you took, not your team? And I'm going to share with you, you want to make sure you're very cautious of when you use I and when you use we. This was a tough one for me because I believe it is important, it is vital to give credit where credit is due. And I still stand by this. But I also recognized that it's really important to say I when I made a decision, or maybe someone else made the decision and I carried out the action. Because if an interviewer or a future employer hears you saying we all the time, they're not going to think, wow, they're great at collaborating. They're likely going to think, wow, they didn't actually do anything. Everyone else did. So it's really important to know when to use I versus we. And so when you're talking about the action that you took, really practice your story and make sure you can identify what action you took versus what action or decisions were made by a team or your superior or your colleague. And then be prepared with the results. That one was hard for me. It took a lot of thinking. Teachers, we've got data. We've got data coming out of our eyeballs, right? But it's figuring out how to take that data and tell the story that connects the dots between those transferable skills. What did you do in the classroom that produced data that an employer is going to go, wow, okay, so you know how to make the data tell a story, and you made some great growth, and then they can start to connect the dots, right? Because they're going to see and hear from your story that you know how to produce positive results. And if you did it in scenario A within your classroom, how do you think you can do it within scenario B in the corporate world? So this, I'm going to tell you, goes back to really researching who you're interviewing with so that you can make those connections. You may not know the intricacies and the ins and outs of the business, but if you can talk in a way that A, exudes confidence, and B, tells a story that someone can visualize you doing the same thing and having great results within their industry, you did it. You made the connections, you told the story, you connected the dots. That was a lot. Star, remember star and car. And remember I versus we, what did you do? We will continue to dive in and talk about some more transferable skills next week and how we can share them. And I will share with you next week an example of one of my star stories from education, so you can kind of start to hear how that unfolds and how I used that in an interview. I'll grab one of my stories that I used in an actual interview to share with you. But I want to tell you, as you embark on this journey, this is hard. You're here, you're listening to the podcast. That's great. Maybe you're following some other folks on LinkedIn or Instagram. Great. But don't forget to seek support. Maybe it's connecting with other teachers who have already transitioned to different careers. Maybe it is finding a trusted friend that you can just let it all out and share what's going on with them. But insights and advice from others who've been in your shoes can be incredibly valuable as you navigate this path, but also being able to have someone that you can talk to and share your feelings is also incredibly valuable, because it's hard. It's hard teaching. It's hard doing new things. It's hard completely transitioning into a new career. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it is so worth it and so rewarding if that's the trajectory that you are on or you feel you need to be on for whatever reason. No judgment here. Remember, your skills are your superpower, and the possibilities for your next career move are quite vast. Embrace the change, and who knows where your skills might take you, right? Until next time, take care. And remember what Deborah Messing says, do what makes you happy. And when it doesn't make you happy anymore, make a change without fear.